Welcome back to part 2 of Autoflight. Autopilot control. The control function allows the pilot to engage and disengage the autopilot and instruct it to follow selected paths such as navigation tracks, climbs, descents and specified altitudes. These paths are normally referred to as modes. The autopilot can command virtually any flight path, provided it is within the performance capability of the aircraft. Automatic flight systems may be capable of controlling the aircraft flight in azimuth, elevation and velocity. The degree of computer power varies according to the role and complexity of the autoflight control system. In all of these computations, however, control laws are used to determine exactly how to control demands are translated into control movements. These computations also consider the airframe load factors likely imposed on the airplane during a maneuver. These are a function of the airspeed, that is the dynamic pressure, and thus require an input from the air data computer or other dynamic pressure source. Performance feedback signals are typically provided by the air data computer, such as speed and Mach number, encoding altimeter, the altitude, the gyro compass or inertial reference for heading, flight management system for navigation track, and the rate gyro for yaw damping. Autopilots feature a unique oral warning and a flashing light triggered if the autopilot disengages, either by the pilot selecting the system off or by a failure. Either way, the pilot has to push a cancel button in order to silence the oral warning and extinguish the flashing light. This is an old autopilot control panel. The hold modes Mach, indicated airspeed, or pitch becomes inoperative, and the pitch mode selector reverts to the vertical speed position when the vertical speed wheel is moved, altitude hold is engaged, or an ILS glide slope is captured. The vertical speed is on up when a glide slope is captured or the autopilot is disengaged. Altitude hold will disengage if go around is selected, the glide slope is captured in auto mode, manual is selected, the vertical speed wheel is moved from center detent position, or the autopilot is disengaged. The autopilot must be steered towards the selected course until it is captured. Automatic glide slope arms the autopilot system to maintain the current pitch and roll modes until the selected localizer track is intercepted, after which the autopilot will track the localizer. The turn knob must be in the detent position before another navigation mode can be selected, and for the autopilot to be engaged. When armed or engaged, the appropriate annunciator is normally illuminated in amber for armed modes and green for engaged modes. On AFIS-equipped aircraft, autopilot and flight director modes are normally displayed on the attitude director indicator. The flight management system provides the primary navigation, flight planning and optimized route determination and en route guidance for the aircraft, and is typically comprised of the following interrelated functions: navigation, flight planning, trajectory prediction, performance computation and guidance. The guidance function of a transport airplane autopilot consists in monitoring the movements of the center of gravity in the 3 dimensions of space. The autoflight director system can function with the autopilot off and the flight director on, or with single channel autopilot engaged in command with the flight director on. The configuration for auto-land operation is normally 3 channels, but can be 2 autopilot channels in command and flight director off or on. With the command mode engaged, the autoflight director system can provide flight path guidance and control using raw data input from interfacing sensors. The command bars on a flight director are generally represented on the ADI, Attitude Director Indicator, or Electronic Attitude Director Indicator. So as you can see in one of the pictures. Auto-land critical sensors are the instrument landing system, receiver, or multimode receiver, inertial reference unit, radio altimeter, and the electrical power control system. An autopilot computer is more sensitive to ILS than to the VOR. Nice to know. Thank you very much for listening and see you soon for part 3.